The Yorkshire Dales, more than 2,000 square kilometres of rolling hills, colossal peaks and idyllic market towns. It's a popular tourist spot, but beneath the beauty, like disconnected communities facing an uphill struggle with remoteness.
So how do they overcome it? Welcome to Tales from the Dales.
The railways. There's more than 9,000 miles of them in Britain, and we're home to the oldest system in the world. But recently, things have got a bit off track.
Big urban centres like here in Leeds, of course, still see more passengers. But as with most things, the pandemic has changed our relationship with the rails. Passenger numbers have dropped 77% since the start of the pandemic as we adapt to a more remote way of working.
This remote approach is new to those of us in the cities, but it's business as usual in the Yorkshire Dales, where the harsh terrain has made social distancing the norm for centuries. So how have they overcome it?
14 tunnels, 22 viaducts, and a construction problem mile after mile. But just look at the Ribblehead Viaduct, look at all these stations like settle behind us. The need came because the railways, London to Scotland, there were just two of them, what we now call the East Coast Line and what we now call the West Coast Line, on the back of coal and the population densities of the Midlands. They needed their own route to Scotland, ideally. Otherwise, they were absolutely dependent on other people.
Built in the 1870s by more than 6,000 navvies, it brought a wave of prosperity and communication to regions previously isolated. But getting it built was no easy ride.
It's all cuttings, it's all embankments, it's all viaducts. So it was an absolute nightmare to actually build. And we know that in areas like this, for every mile of railway, 3 navvies died.
But it's no ancient relic. It remains not just a lifeline for those living nearby, but a tourist attraction bringing in people from up and down the country.
I'm Russell. I'm here today as the walk leader for a Friends of Settled Carlisle Railway free guided walk. We don't own a car and haven't owned a car for many years. So the railway is fantastic. It's a very quick way of getting back down south again if you want to go and see friends and family. And we have this, and it's astonishing to think that this is a 25-minute train journey from where we live. In the mornings, you'll get school kids on there. Apart from that, tourists. I mean, the train this morning was full, and I would say 90% of the people on there were leisure travellers.
And it's these tourists that are key to the Dales' future. 150 years ago, they overcame remoteness by building the railway, and today that same line is being used to overcome social isolation, bringing in tourists and affluence to an area that's now just that bit more connected.